Hi, this is Sean Clark with Horror Hound Magazine and Horror's Hallowed Grounds. Today I'm with actor Tom Matthews, who played Freddy in the film,
Hello, sitting right here.
and John Philbin, who played Chuck,
I'm sitting right next to him.
and special effects makeup artist, part of the team that worked on Return of the Living Dead, Mr. Tony Gardner.
Hey, I'm sitting behind everybody else.
Hello, Tony.
So let's start here with just how everybody originally got involved with this project. Let's start with you, Tom. How'd you get this gig?
Well, I was a young actor, younger than I am now, and just came across my agent's desk, the script, and I read it, and I thought it was fantastic, and auditioned for it, and I thought I did a very good job, but didn't hear anything. Didn't hear anything for maybe 9 months. So just went on with my life. Next thing I know, I get a call. I've been cast in it, and they're reading girls with me, and that's kind of how it happened. There was some lag time because there was an issue with the name or the rights to the name or something. I wasn't quite clear what it was about. And there's Jimmy Karen right now. You know, we had the same birthdays.
Really?
November 28th.
Wow.
Different year, but the same day.
Everybody mark your calendars. How about you, John?
I came in later. I think they were putting actors together. My agent said, "Hey, this is an interesting project." I love that term. And there was going to be an actor strike in LA at the time, and he's like, "Get in this. If you can get in this, you'll work through the strike." And I'm like, "I want in, man." I had just started acting. Is like I think my fourth movie, and I was on a roll, and I auditioned 100,000 times. I didn't know what he wanted. I was just trying to pretend I was Robert De Niro. I thought I was like, I'm going to take this really seriously, and I'm just going to be great. And I guess he wanted some guy to be taking it seriously, because I worked with all the different actors and callbacks. Like, what are they looking for? He goes, just be yourself, just do your thing. And I did, and I got it, and I was stoked, and I was confused the whole time. But I'm really happy to have been a part of it. That's for sure.
And Tony?
I actually did some teeth for Brian Peck for his audition, I want to say. His character was Scuzz, and Brian was super preppy.
I went to USC with Brian Peck. This is John Philbin, so I've heard wonderful stories about
okay.
him. So he would pick me up at USC and drive to the thing, so I knew.
I went, right?
Yeah.
I dropped out. So, like, right before all this.
Right.
And Brian felt that he looked too clean cut, so I made these teeth for him, like a steel tooth, and they were crooked and messed up. And he wore them to the audition or a reading. And didn't tell Dan that he was going to do it. But Brian just was really into trying to look the part. And Dan saw the teeth and went, "Wow, that's really great. Yeah, you should keep it. Let's do it." And then he said that, well, there's an actress in the show whose teeth are a little crooked. Maybe your dentist friend could help us, like with her teeth. And Brian didn't say that I was like 21 or whatever at the time. And just said, okay. And I went over to Dan O'Bannon's house one night. And I was thrilled because I was a huge Alien fan. I mean, that's what kind of got me into this.
Right.
And went up, knocked on the door, and totally excited because Dan O'Bannon answers the door. And he's looking past me like I drove somebody else there. And I'm like, Brian just starts laughing. He's like, "This is my dentist friend, Dan." So I do some tests for Beverly, actually, some different teeth ideas. None of it works out. But in the 5 minutes we talked, I showed him some pictures of some other stuff I did. One was a dead body of a long blonde-haired woman I was just doing for a Halloween thing. And he remembered it when that company bailed, way down the road. I believe 2 weeks before things were shooting. I got a call from Dan and Graham and everybody saying, "We want you to come in and we want to talk to you about doing some stuff for the film." So it's kind of a weird sideways thing for me.
And this is what kind of launched your career, right? I mean,
Yeah, it was literally my first screen credit. I'd worked for Rick Baker, and Greg Canham up to that point. And I was actually working for Greg and Rick on Cocoon while we were filming this, and I was doing the Half Corpse at night. Rick was nice enough to let me use his shop, and just sort of, got some friends to help me out, and we had 2 weeks to do it. And then after I brought it to the stages, Graham Henderson was this big, giant, scary British dude. And he's like, well, come into my office, please. And I went into his office, and he said, what would you like your screen credit to be? And I was completely dumbfounded. I'd never had a screen credit, let alone, the chance to pick out what I wanted it to say. So, yeah, it really sort of was my first chance to sort of be my own person as opposed to an employee or part of a crew for somebody else. So I was kind of alongside Kenny Myers. He had the bulk of the show. And then I was told if you want to do the Half Corpse, you also have to do the Split Dogs. And then Bill Stout had a couple other things like some makeups on Linnea and things like that he asked me to help out on. So I kind of got to come and go and watch everybody sort of play, and every once in a while I got to join in. But it was really cool because the group dynamic I thought was really obvious from the get-go. It was really cool to walk into.
Are you still friends with Brian Peck?
Yeah.
That's so great.
Yeah.
Now, this is one of the best scenes in the movie, I think. Just James Karen setting up the whole thing. And his delivery is
it's
perfect.
It's priceless. We had so much fun together, Jimmy and I. Even putting on the makeup later on in the other scenes, after we smell all the triox and just all that, because we were in the makeup chair for hours, just at the stories and they would tell. Just a lot of fun. He's a great guy. I'd have him. I'd just hire him. If I was a producer, I'd just hire him because his energy on this set is just so, positive and upbeat. Now, when I auditioned, I went and I have the hat because my hair was really short. And Dan freaked out a little bit, so he wanted to grow out a little bit. So they had me get this hat while my hair was growing up for the first couple of weeks, because I only remember that because in that last scene, I grab it off the desk to establish it and purposely swing it back in the frame, so you see that I'm grabbing my hat and put it on. There's a lot of technical things and for actors to do that people don't realize. To hide stuff or to stage stuff.
I want to know whose idea those suspenders were, because I had to wear suspenders too.
Oh, that was that T-shirt was my idea. It was for a clothing company, and I just cut off the arms. There's a clothing company I was working for, and the suspenders and.
Is that a gun? What is
stuff.
that on their shirt?
Domo arigato.
Oh. Oops.
Was that the name of the clothing company?
It was was it Versailles? It was Versailles or something like that.
I think he just knocked your hat off intentionally.
I invited.
Did you ask him to do that?
I invited the guys. Because I was part of the movie. I said,
"I'm gonna wear your shirt.
I'm gonna wear your shirt. Come see the movie.
In a feature film.
Come see the movie." They were not happy.
They
hated it.
Oh wow.
They hated it.
Oh man.
So I bet you if they
Little
brought that
did they
shirt,
know.
I didn't.
Are they
Needless to
still
say, I
around?
didn't work for them ever again after that.
I bet you if they re-released that shirt today, more fans would buy that shirt because it's in the movie. Now, this is one of the greatest title sequences.
Yeah,
really
I love the whole opening.
I agree.
Because I love how this movie just kicks into it.
It just,
it's doesn't waste any time, just busts right into it. Now, would you ever have thought, 30 years later, that the number one TV show on TV would be a zombie TV show?
No,
I mean,
never.
I mean,
Never.
how far things have come.
I mean, there was even some talk about for the Oscars to have its own category a couple of years ago, which I think is an interesting, concept. I don't know whatever happened with it.
Such a good shot.
That is. How'd they do that? Is that a person?
Yeah.
That's the Yellow Corpse.
The infamous Yellow Corpse.
Mhm.
Who played the Yellow Corpse?
A
Does
very
anybody know?
unhappy man.
Because he was running around and sitting around in a chair naked and all yellow for a
Yeah,
long time on the set. Remember
you
that
noticed
guy?
that, huh?
Yeah.
That's nice, John.
There were two of them, though.
Jesus.
They had to
There's
make
the,
every part
something
of his
you want
body
to tell
yellow.
us?
I noticed.
I'm sure you did.
This is Palos Verdes. I grew up I went to high school right across the street from this house.
Are you kidding?
And I surfed right down below its backyard. And I was like, that's PV. I think I knew the girl whose parents owned this house.
Wow.
I actually was just at this house a week ago.
You were for what?
Shooting the locations thing.
Oh.
What did you think about the neighborhood?
It's very nice.
My dad still lives there. I'm not allowed there anymore.
Get kicked out.
Yeah, I mean, it's so conservative. It's perfect that they got this location. But this house sits right above one of the best surf spots in
Wow.
Southern California.
And this actor, Jonathan Terry, a lot of horror fans might know him as the drunken hobo from Halloween 3, Season of the Witch.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's great.
That's what's so fun to be an actor. So many different.
Different roles.
Yeah.
Now, originally, Tobe Hooper was supposed to direct this
Correct.
film, and
Yep.
he had already cast James Karen because they'd worked together previously on Poltergeist, correct?
Oh.
That explains it.
Which kind of worked out great for everybody because Jimmy's so great in the movie. It makes you wonder what kind of Return of the Living Dead Tobe Hooper would have made. You know, such a different filmmaker. I don't know. He's good with comedy, though. I mean, I think it could have been good. Who knows?
Who did that space movie with the vampire sucking the stuff that Tim Railsback was in?
That's Tobe Hooper.
That's Tobe Hooper?
In fact, that's the movie that interfered with him doing this movie.
Right.
This movie. Yeah, he had to work on Life Force.
Life Force.
Yeah.
And was it written? Did Dan O'Bannon have anything to do with Life Force? Did he do some writing for it?
I think he did, yeah. I remember that being in his credits.
I think
it
you're
is.
correct.
Yeah.
Because
I'm not sure.
there's some similar themes
did.
of that
Yeah.
thing.
And then the Invaders from Mars remake was Tobe Hooper was going to direct,
Mm-hmm. He did.
and Dan O'Bannon wrote, right?
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Okay.
And James Cameron's in it.
Very
So-
incestual.
Mars Attacks or Invaders from Mars?
Invaders from Mars, the remake.
There's the 110 freeway right behind them. If you're ever driving into Hollywood, you pass this location all the time and probably don't know it.
Well, I think that SciArc. There's there's an architecture college called SciArc that they bought this train depot that we drive by too.
And that building with the little things on top of it there, I think right on the other side of it's that strip club you can see from the 110, like Deja Vu or something.
Oh.
And then this is at a completely different location, like 5 miles away. And now the Unita building.
That's the entry to the brewery, right?
Yes.
I like it. It's a statement.
It's a clever name. I've always liked that name.
Yeah.
Well, that's not.
I love Linnea's delivery on these her lines here.
You know, my friend of mine was in the T-shirt business, and I approached John Daly, one of the executive producers, to get the T-shirt rights, the worldwide rights to Return of the Living Dead. So we went into business. Bobby Bauer is his name, and he and I went into business, and we got the rights, and we shipped them out all over the country to all the radio stations because they were giving away. It was the poster art. And then we came up with our own art, some more cops, some more paramedics, more brains. We even used the Unita Medical Supply Warehouse logo as one of the T-shirts. We did pretty good.
And this is now the entrance to the UPS building, is where the facade of the Resurrection Cemetery is, right at the end of the street. Next to the building, which is now just an artist loft. Somebody lives there. Can you guys talk a little about working with Mark Venturini, what he was like?
He was so scared. No, sweetest guy in the world. Nicest, sweetest guy in the world.
I think everybody pretty much
nicest guy on the set.
next to John approached this, like really hardcore, serious
Methods.
situation. Yeah. And Mark was certainly in there. Really sweet guy. Never complained. I think that's why the comedy works so well. I mean, I think the best comedy comes out of, the situations and what's going on.
Yeah, I definitely wasn't in on the joke. That's for sure. I agree.
No, either was I.
It's so amazing. Yeah.
Uh-oh.
What the hell happened to the body? Must have melted when it hit the air. Close the goddamn thing.
Close the goddamn thing.
Did you get a haircut from Attila, Tom, for this?
No, I didn't.
Do you have a little tail on the back?
I put a little tail on me.
You did it?
I did it.
You're a freak.
And I even pierced my ear.
And you pierced your ear for this?
I pierced my own ear for this. And Dan O'Bannon freaked out. He goes, "What are you doing?" I pierced my ear. I thought my character should have an earring.
That's so great.
I think secretly I always wanted one anyways.
I had to do it. I had to do it for a movie. Is that
an
excuse? Did you pierce your ear, Tom? Oh, I had to do it for a movie.
Yeah. And I did a Prince Albert too, but you don't really see it. So,
but it's there.
I thought the character would have that.
Now, were either of you into the punk scene or music at all?
Not at all. Only because we were up on Melrose. I was living in Hollywood, and that was going on at the time. It was just amazing.
I was into it 100%.
Oh yeah,
totally, man. I had gone to I was a disco dummy. I was a nightclubber in Hollywood before I started acting, and
you make good money doing that?
I spent a lot of money. I was a club kid, and I went. My claim to fame in punk rock is I went to a PIL concert, and Johnny Lydon from the Sex Pistols is the lead singer, and I crawled up on stage and climbed up. There's a half dog.
Look at that.
Scaffolding.
It's Toto, half a Toto.
Come on. Who did this? What?
Oh no. Let's club it.
Yeah, kill it.
Oh,
the sound is the best part.
Yeah.
Never do this today.
Was that the first thing you did, Tony? Was the split dog?
First thing I had to do.
Yeah.
I did these two big black labs, half labs, and then these two little terriers. And there's like no money. I figured I'll just mechanize a terrier. Not really going to see it. It falls. It's under plastic, and they beat it up. And I think that the DP's like, "Oh, look at these glass eyes. Let's show this off." And then it's like this goofy little dog.
Did you see the butterflies?
Yeah.
How they animated those? They just pinned them, and then they put a fan on it, so they just moved.
And they were paper.
Very clever.
That is my favorite line in the movie, just that you just said, Tom. Like this job.
And that wasn't scripted. Jimmy and I,
That is my favorite.
We just
line
roll
in the
with
movie.
it. Whatever we were doing. That was the great thing about Dan too, because most writers, they want you to stick to the words. I mean, hardcore. Dan just let us go, and it was really a great experience for him to just trust everybody.
God, there's a lot of information in that scene just there. But that is my favorite line of all time from this movie. Like this job. In fact, I say it now, like whenever I get a chance in other situations.
I love the sweat under the arm.
Yeah.
I have a little problem.
Do you ever fantasize?
Did you have anything to do with any special effects in this scene, Tony?
I did not.
Do you ever
Although I claim otherwise.
about all the different ways of dying?
I claim to have stolen one thing from the set, and it was a prosthetic from Linnea from this scene.
Go on.
It's just a plug, little cap. I use it. I go, "Here, baby, put this on."
And we have to mention Miguel Nunez.
Oh, yeah.
The Spider, who's one of the most one of the most interesting characters I've ever met. He's definitely a handful. Good guy, hilarious.
Moment of
And now
silence.
we've completely forgot about Miguel.
Now, are those real boobies
Miguel who?
or not?
Well, yes and no.
I mean, they weren't.
They're
put
really
there for
hers.
the movie. Yeah.
But they've been enhanced.
They have.
Yeah.
Look at those dancers. Oh, Brian Peck, ladies and gentlemen. If he was here, he'd say, that flare was burning on my hands.
Yep.
I didn't know she was going to do this. I'm sitting there by the camera going, hey, what the hell? I was like, don't look at the camera. Don't look at the camera.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wait.
Then you cut to this guy.
What?
Clu Gulager. Such a great actor.
Clu Gulager.
I'm going to be sued by the Darrow Chemical Company. I'm going to be investigated by the government. I might become very famous, Frank. I might even lose my business.
Now, you know, what's funny is like he's so great in this, and it seems like there's so much chemistry here, but all the stories of...
Oh, yeah. No, he's just pissed off to be there.
Yeah.
He's trying to remember his line right here.
We got hired really late in the game, and
Yeah,
he
poor
was
guy.
struggling.
Nope.
I mean, admittedly so. He's mentioned a lot during our Q&As at some of the conventions we've done together.
He's really come alive in his, you know,
In
what
his
he talks about.
embracing the film, he
Yeah.
really has, because
Yeah.
he really was not a fan in the beginning.
Right.
He's got a great members-only jacket.
Yeah.
I'd love to
Right.
have that jacket now.
Question, Bert. In that movie, they destroyed the brain to kill him. Is that what they did? The brains, right.
So were any of you present for the moment that
Oh,
Clu
yeah.
attacked
I was
Dan?
there. I was there.
Let's hear it.
Let's hear about
It
it.
was in the where Don was working in the mortuary.
Yeah.
Yeah. Picked up the thing and threw it right at him at the door, almost.
Yet
Was
Clu
it peephole?
claims that didn't happen.
No, that happened. I saw him. He was pissed off. He was yelling at Dan. Didn't respect him. It would appear. I think he just, it was a lot of lines that day, and I get nervous too when I have a lot of lines, and I'm not. It's unsettling. You just want it to go well, and you don't know how it's going to come off, and sometimes it comes off better than you thought, and sometimes it comes off worse than you thought, and you always think it's going to come off worse than you thought when you're kind of struggling for the words stuff. I love this scene. I love when he just runs past Jimmy Karen.
Right to him.
I love that.
What's he doing to him, really?
He's trying to eat his brains.
Oh.
Now this scene, see, they had me knock over that. Another technical thing that people...
Oh, it's continuity.
They had me knock that over on purpose. So I had to grab it with my elbow as I was going down because they needed the wires to operate his head in the next scene. And they had to hide the wires on the ground.
Underneath the styrofoam there.
Exactly.
Ah.
Now, Tony, do you know, was this guy always supposed to be so yellow? Or was that sort of
An accident.
It was a lot of Bill Stout's designs were like yellow ochre, and the original version of this character that Bill Munns did.
Don't mean to cut you off, but this scene we shot at 6 o'clock in the morning before my coffee. It was like to work that up. I'm sorry to cut you off, but it's just happening.
But Bill Munns kind of came up with the color scheme for the first one, and they thought they were going to like overlap and use both. So this guy had to match.
because he definitely doesn't really match the rest of the movie. Yeah.
No.
And I know, as they're, it's kind of well known that Bill Munns was let go during production mainly because of the Yellow Man debacle. But
Mr. Tooth.
That's a good one.
God, I would have changed so many things the way my reading of things. You go back and look at it and go, oh, this doesn't ring true.
brought some really good friends of mine, not in the entertainment industry, to one of our shows at the New Beverly. Good surfing friends and their families, his 2 kids.
They knew Beverly personally,
at the New Beverly Theater.
Oh, at the New Beverly. I thought you said they knew Beverly.
No, to the New Beverly. They'd never seen the movie. Remember that one at the New Beverly?
Of course.
And
when that was for Clue, I think it was.
For Clue. Yeah.
Film festival.
And when I came outside, they just went, "Not your best work, John." I was like, "You guys want to go get El Coyote and get a margarita?" And they're like, "Not your best work, John."
Wow.
I couldn't believe it.
Especially if you saw it at the New Beverly with an audience. That's the way to see it.
The audience was going insane.
Because this is definitely a movie to see with a crowd. Because they go nuts.
I think they were just shocked and overwhelmed by the tone and
also
and the comedy.
Clue was, it was Clue's thing, and he brought down the big penis that day.
Oh, huge penis!
Because someone once told me to walk softly and carry a big dick.
Right.
And they said stick, and he thought they said dick, so he had this big prosthetic 6.5-foot dick that he brought down for his Q&A. It was pretty raunchy.
I like how she's walking sideways.
So let's talk a little bit about your wardrobe there, John. So why didn't you get to be the cool punker? They kind of made you the dorky mod.
I'm the dorky, mod, new wave guy that
romantic,
trying to fit in.
Yeah.
I was the wimpy nerd trying to fit in with all these punks. I was so jealous of everybody in this. I was jealous of everyone in this movie, actually. I was like, why can't I be cooler?
Why can't I be Linnea? Why can't I take off my clothes and
why can't you be this guy getting a naked girl all over you?
Some action.
I was imitating Mickey Rourke walking up like that from a summer wind thing in Pope of Greenwich Village. It's like he walked up like this. Now I'm trying to be a young De Niro. Just hilarious. There's my man.
Don Calfa.
People freak out about his performance in this and it really is. It's off the charts, weird and amazing. How'd they do this? That's what I want to know.
I thought this was one of the coolest things Kenny did.
It's disturbing.
Yeah.
Well, it's not. It's off to the side, so it looks like it's going inside.
But it's a whole big fake chest and all the bruising.
Well,
is
that a person?
Yeah, it's a person.
Yeah.
And he's got a cast over it.
Yeah, from his chest down.
It looks proportionate, and all the bruising and everything totally sells it. And then that rod just keeps going in and in and in.
Sure.
And... Oh, that's a first.
Uh-oh.
Your first phone call?
Yeah, ever.
That's Kenny Myers calling to say thank you for the
Bill
compliment.
Munn's calling. Something about a lawyer.
They did not have cell phones in the making of this film.
That's true.
Now, if I worked in a mortuary and I was wearing headphones, I'd at least make sure the door was locked. Just saying.
They only had that one steel embalming table to use for all the stuff.
For everything.
With the half corpse, too.
Yeah.
And I wanted
that's right.
my hands up inside the head, and I said, can we just cut a hole? And everybody sort of freaked out. They're like,
blasphemy.
Do you know what this costs?
Blasphemy.
And then Bill Stout's like, well, yeah, we'll just put a drain over it when we're not using it. It's like, thank you, Bill.
You can break it out.
Bill Stout is literally the movie, I think. You know, I mean, all the zombies, the production design. I mean, his vision is really the visual here.
He definitely had a little EC Comics take on all the designs of the zombies and everything, that old school.
Yeah, and a lot of the exteriors too, and the tombstones, a lot of the little detail stuff, like the oven.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, just so well thought out.
Did he design Tarman, or was that?
Yeah,
he designed that.
Yeah,
and then they made it and put it on.
Yeah,
Alan Trout.
There were two versions of Tarman too, I believe. There was Bill Munns's version and then Kenny's sort of redo. But I think they were able to use a lot of the original. So.
So what was it like working with Don, Tom?
It was great. He was, he did a lot of research, as we all did on our parts and stuff. I mean, to the gun that he has and the music he was listening to, and just he really got in. He dyed his hair blonde because he's not naturally bleached like that, and he was just, it was. I don't have much to do in this, but he was very, in command of his performance.
And what's the story with that jacket? That sort of Letterman jacket that says "fuck you" on the back.
Well, there's two of those. It says, one says "fuck you" and the other one says "TV version." There's a TV version, yeah, in case they were planning to show it on television.
And the jacket actually says TV version?
Yep. It says TV version on the back of it.
Wow. Call an animal shelter. You know what happened to that jacket?
I have no idea. I wish I had it.
That's a good
Very
one.
cool. I do have the shirt. I have my prosthetics, too, around my eyes later on, and when they throw the acid in my eyes.
Did you keep anything from the shoot, Tony?
I kept the half corpse.
You didn't give it to Brian?
Does Brian have the dog? I thought he had a model of the dog.
Brian kind of ends up with everything.
Yeah.
But the half corpse went into a storage unit that we lost track of.
Oh, man.
And got sold at an auction.
Oh, no.
Brian, of course, is the one that discovered it online and said...
He found it?
Yeah. He's like, hey, if you want your half corpse, here's the guy who has it.
Wow.
And it looked horrible. It was all like, the foam was all, coming apart. It looked like she was like super drunk and had a really bad night trying to make money and didn't make any. Really beat up.
Did you fix her?
No.
Bring her back to life? No.
That stuff just doesn't last, unfortunately.
Yeah, the latex, right? Was it made of latex?
She was foam latex.
Yeah.
The foam definitely rots over time.
She's mostly teeth and eyes and a spinal column.
Sexy.
The boneless arm.
Yeah, right.
I'm sorry, Ernie.
Can we smoke in here? Just kidding.
Speaking of smoking, you're smoking there. So let's talk a little bit about Jewel Shepard.
Yeah, let's talk
What
about
was
her.
she like to work with?
She's
an interesting
angel.
character.
She's very professional, an angel, and super happy to have this job. And this gives you an idea of, Jules is actually a really smart, interesting woman, and she's playing a bitchy, angry cunt in this movie that I still love and want to get together with. But let's see, what else can we say about Jewel? Tom?
Yeah, no, she was
going to be trash originally,
very
right?
professional.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I better get over and find Freddie. He's going to be getting off any time now.
All right, go ahead. We'll wait for you.
All right, don't go anywhere, okay?
All right. Gee, watch out for the road.
But do you think that Dan decided to go with Linnea instead because he hadn't seen her naked already, and maybe it was a chance to open that
I think
Pandora's box?
I think
Wow,
maybe,
good one.
You never know.
You've been waiting
You
to
know,
say
if-
that.
That's how it
if
seems
I
like
was
how Dan
directing,
thought.
one of the, I'd have to see her naked before I hired her.
There you go.
So,
But I know Linnea was brought in very late, and the casting director,
Stanzi Stokes.
yeah, she had worked with her on Silent Night, Deadly Night, knew her from that, and knew she didn't have a problem with nudity. So, that's how she ended up with the gig. But Jewel has been very vocal about being upset that she didn't get to get naked in this movie.
Well, she got naked off camera a bunch of times.
Yeah.
With all of us, I think. She'd love to run around
Speak
naked.
for yourself. I was in love with Tina.
Yeah, we haven't talked about Beverly Randolph. Let's talk about Beverly. Now, wouldn't you say she is playing herself in this movie? She literally is.
Absolutely, and she's the same as now as she was then.
More so, I'd say she's.
I mean, she's such a sweet, nice, quiet person, and she's pretty much she is Tina.
She's not so much quiet anymore. But yeah, she's definitely the same. She lives in, I don't know what her world is.
She's a mom.
She's a mom.
But she's not a punk rock mom.
She definitely wouldn't have been hanging with this crowd.
No.
No way would she be hanging out with the punk rock.
I think about how Freddie and she met. Because it was, I was kind of in the group and attracted to her, and she's my girlfriend, and that's another movie, I guess.
Yeah, he really put a divergent group of people together in this. I think that's one of the reasons we're still watching it, because everyone's so radically different.
No, there's been a lot of talk about how the production on this film was really rushed. There was a lot of things that weren't ready. Did you feel that pressure, or sort of?
I didn't really feel that. I know we did have the luxury of rehearsing for 2 weeks, which I think was a great key element to making the success of this movie. If you look at it, there's a lot of one shots. There's not a lot of coverage when there's a lot of characters in it because they didn't have the time. It's a low budget movie, but I think a low budget movie adds a certain energy to a movie. Because you're making decisions fast, and it's very creative, and you're living in the moment, and it creates this energy where, like, some of the huge budgeted movies, it gets lost. It's overthought, It doesn't really have it's kind of bogged down with that. So.
Can I finish my punk rock story?
Yes, you were.
So I
PIL
crawled
concert.
up on the stage. You'll appreciate this. Johnny Lydon singing for PIL. And the security guards. I was just going to do a normal stage dive. Security guards. Why is John telling this stupid story? And then I crawled up on the scaffolding that had the lights, and the lights started swinging above the stage, and all the bouncers were crawling up, and they looked like gorillas. And I was drunk, and it looked like they were going to kill me. So I kept going up, and then I went, I got to jump, and it was like 20 feet. I jumped into this audience, did a flip and landed on some guy. He's okay. But Johnny Lydon stopped the show because the lights were swinging. They thought they were going to come down. And he walked up to me and he pointed at me. He goes, "You're a mad cunt. You are a mad cunt." And I retired from being punk rock after Johnny Lydon called me a mad punk. And that's it. That's my story.
Where was that show at?
80s.
Do you remember?
It was downtown Los Angeles.
Like Perkins Palace or something like that?
Yeah. In a big, dark palace. Yeah. That's it.
I saw PIL at Perkins Palace once. Not that show.
Right.
Or I would have remembered.
Yeah, you would remember it. Stopped the show. It was awesome. That's my story, Tom. Oh, getting that roof down was awesome.
Wonder whatever happened to this car.
God.
Where is that car?
They
That's a good
painted
question.
it red and put it in that Christian Slater, Patricia Arquette movie.
Are you serious?
I think so.
Huh.
True Romance.
Really? That's the same car?
I think so.
Nice. A little bit of trivia.
Yeah.
Is that an Oldsmobile? What is that?
Cadillac.
It's a Cadillac.
It's hard not to watch the movie. I know we're here supposed to be talking, but we don't get to watch it. I guess we could if we wanted to, but Tony, when was the last time you saw this movie?
It's been a few years.
You're watching it.
I am. So many of the shots read like comic book frames.
Yes.
Like the incinerator.
Right. Yes, very much.
The last couple things that we just saw, and then, this whole anthill thing. it's just things that you'd imagine somebody coming up with, like Bill Stout with a visual mind.
Graphic novel. Yeah. Yeah.
It's just cool to see it come to life.
Yeah, it is.
This was a couple years after Creepshow had been out, which definitely, did the whole comic book vibe to the...
Yeah, but that kind of did it intentionally with the colored lights and the skewed frames. And this, to me at least, it's all within the context of the way they're telling the story. And it's just really beautiful. You get sort of pulled into it.
Mm-hmm.
Did they do this in sequence, Tommy? Did you know, or was it out of sequence?
Say again. I'm sorry. I was watching.
Did they shoot this in sequence or out of sequence? I was watching myself.
This, they shot this in sequence pretty much. This whole segment.
That would have probably been easier to keep the continuity of the
how
your
sick you
your
are
makeup.
and the makeup and
It knocks we're out cold unconscious for a while.
Now, all these interior sets were all in Burbank,
Correct.
built in that
Right.
soundstage. And the cemetery was at Olive Grove in Sylmar.
Sylmar.
Yeah, which
we
is
drove
now
up
just
Sylmar.
a neighborhood with condos.
It is, so
Yeah.
you can't go.
Wow.
Did they move the bodies?
Nope, Jimmy Karen did it again.
He's so great in this. When we were doing it, I thought he was a little
Over the
over
top.
the top a little bit. And he just plays so well.
Well, he is, but it works for
yeah,
this.
It just
Yeah.
even in the office scene when he's did the Google faces. I mean, this is a pretty nice size screen, but I've been to a couple of events where they have the 30-year anniversary, and over in Hollywood. And it's a really big screen. And just the subtleties. It's just such a pleasure to watch it on a big screen.
Who was the camera guy in the DP?
Jules
Vern?
Jules Brenner.
Yes,
Brenner.
correct.
Well, no, we don't know what kind of poison.
Jules Brenner.
Right. Thank you very much.
Yeah, really sweet guy.
Yeah. He is
They're on.
good.
And oh,
Oh.
it's cold.
So what was it like working in all that rain all the time, John?
It was so much fun. I love it. It's great. The earlier it rains in your scene when you're an actor reading a script for a movie, you want to look for a guy that jumps and swims across a river early on, and then it goes into nights, and so he gets to be wet the whole night because he jumped in the lake first thing in the movie. So, and then that makes it, I think we can all attest to, you want to get a PA who's not getting paid anything, but does have the pleasure of hosing an actor down before every scene at night, which is what we had the pleasure of having. So you get these great off-camera cussing things and anger and hypothermia and the fear of doing your scene. And then you get an acting coach to come up and go, hey, you guys, you remember, you just got wet. This isn't your 5th night of wet in the rain. You know, this isn't your 10th time you're getting hosed down by the PA. This just happened, and you're really, really excited, and you're kind of warm because your adrenaline's up. So come on, you guys, run in place or something, stuff like that. It's really fun. Does that answer your question?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
And there's that hat.
You're not complaining. There's the hat.
There's the hat.
She's got
The
it.
hat.
Whatever happened to that hat?
What happened to that puka shell necklace?
Yeah,
That
I
was
think
really
wardrobe
bad.
took everything,
The
just in case there was reshoots and stuff. That's what they.
Pink lipstick.
Freddie.
I had those pants.
Everybody
wearing
had
your
those
pants.
pants.
Everybody did. She got, yeah.
I think Guess. I had a pair of that during that time.
Yes. Yes.
Guess jeans stonewash with the leather crotch.
Leather crotch.
The greenish leather crotch, then like the diamond shape.
Awesome.
My friend used to steal it from me all the time. Those
And now
pants.
we're going to be getting to see Alan Troutman here as Tarman.
What? God. Oh. That was
That hurt. That was.
Here we go. That
She
stairs,
talks about that staircase.
Yeah, she
being-
was pissed off, but boy, did it work.
They tricked her.
Oh! They tricked her, yeah. You can't.
Yeah, she didn't know it was going to
Well,
break.
she hurt
right?
herself a little bit too.
She actually hurt herself. Oh, there's the walk.
His body language is great.
He's great.
Fuck.
Really wonderful.
I saw his picture in the Jungle Book, doing the Black
Oh, yeah?
Panther. Yeah, he's in a blue screen. He's doing the puppet of the Panther, the Black Panther, in the Jungle Book, and it's
I
cool
thought this
to
was
see him.
clever too. That angle of them shooting through the. That's a smart Tarman.
Yep. Poor Mark's gonna.
You would just think Mark would stay alive and kick some zombie ass in this thing, man. He's got the chains and the leather and the size. And he goes down early.
A lot of horror fans remember Mark from Friday 13th Part 5, The New Beginning, and then Tom shows up in Part 6.
It's funny because I saw Part 5 after I got cast in Part 6, and I'll have to go back and look at it. Wasn't a big fan of Part 5. It just didn't have any, I don't know.
We should be freaking out right now, but we're not. Oh. Hey, I saw the outfit break. Oh! Oh, Linnea, nice. Nice touch.
Take it easy.
And I believe these are the first talking zombies in film, too.
Really?
I don't think any zombies ever talked before this one, that I can recall. Well, I guess...
It's the first time they went after brains specifically, too.
Well, Nate in Creepshow did talk. So, technically, that would be before this, but... The paramedics. These guys are great, too.
These guys were great. They're just, they were great on the set. I remember them. Had warm hands.
Oh, disgusting. How'd you do that? How'd they get that?
I think it was a butterscotch candy. That died in my mouth.
Not just smoking.
Kind of industrial chemical, I think. Something in a tank.
What tank? Where?
Well, we're not sure. Really.
Do you recall exactly around what time the incident occurred in this scene?
Which incident?
The Clue and Dan O'Bannon.
Oh,
was there a particular
It was
moment?
after this. It was after this when the paramedics go out to the cars and they run out to, and then they got the send more cop, send more paramedics just before that.
What do you mean? What's wrong?
Maybe you can point it out when we get to it.
All right, we just need to double check.
Oh, I just need to double check something. One of these guys came to one of the things. It was so cool. Remember?
The blonde guy. Drew, I think his name was Drew.
I think this is your best makeup, I think. This makeup is keeper makeup.
Drew Deegan.
What do you mean no blood pressure, no pulse? What are you saying?
I'm fucking watching the movie again. It's great. I don't know. I mean, I wasn't on set. I never got to see this stuff. So when I see it, I'm like, see, there's a lot of yellow in this, Tony. There's yellow.
It's a theme.
Yellow walls.
It's in the
raincoat.
color
Did not
scheme.
realize.
And
Now, are you guys surprised at the longevity that this film has had? I mean, we're over 30 years. We're still sitting here talking about it. You're meeting new fans of the film constantly at conventions.
See, here's one of those shots I was telling you about. There's
Everyone's
no
gotta
coverage
be-
on it. It's a wide shot.
yeah.
Because if they had to go back and cover everybody, it would take forever. Take a half a day.
It's like theater.
This is why we rehearsed. He
Right.
knew that we weren't going to be able to get coverage. So he had to block us so that we're all together.
And they just used the master shot.
And they would use the master, yeah.
Now, if they would have all just stayed in there, they probably would have been okay.
Well, until the end.
True.
Stay together, guys. Stay together. Oh, God, water. Could you guys heat? I just remember going. Could you heat that water before you spray us?
Poor Linnea, look at her.
Oh, I know.
Butt naked.
They're like, Linnea's not complaining. Oh, this is.
Uh-oh.
We didn't get to see this till the movie.
And now look, the credits, right?
Yeah.
Well, I know Bill Stout comments about how much he hates that corpse, but it's kind of become, because they show it again at the end, too, the same shot. It's sort of like an iconic image from the film. And as a fan, I think it works, but he hated how clean the skeleton was.
I loved it.
It started off a whole...
And this song, I mean, what a perfect choice. 45
The music
Grave.
for this whole... It's just phenomenal, I thought. It really added to the energy of what was going on in the movie.
I don't know what it is, but I think this movie is better than the last time I saw it. It just gets better. How does that happen? It gets better, right?
It does.
It gets better. You would know because you're in this business.
It's a fine wine. It's like a fine wine, John. But it is one of those films, though, every time you watch it, you pick up a little something else, you know what I mean? Whether it be a little nuance, little gag. There's that earring.
Are you sure we're dead?
That's so funny, Tom. It's just...
I'm a funny guy.
What the fuck are they doing?
That's a great thing. What the fuck are they doing?
Just hang in there. We won't be a second.
Tomo arigato.
Now, I like this gun that Don has. It's almost like a German.
Yeah, that's what he researched it and found that gun and got it.
Like a real New York actor finding all these cool things.
Oh. Yeah, they're in trouble. Where are you at, John?
Somewhere else.
Oh, there
I
you are.
am.
You're running
Guy,
back.
you're like a movie. You know what's going to happen right before it happens in movies. I'll bet going to a movie with you, you'll say what the next scene's going to be before it happens. Look, so this way I get to be alone with my baby.
And you still don't
try
get
to
laid.
be a hero. Why you gotta?
As an
play that card?
actor, I watch movies, and you can always go, "Oh, that's the audition scene. That's the audition scene."
Christ, Jesus. What is that? Sounds like people screaming. You get the stretchers. I'll get on the radio and phone this in.
It's not played like for horror. It's just played as an
It's
odd
just straight.
circumstance.
Yes, exactly, and that's what's
It's so great.
so genius about it. Unlike part 2.
I've never seen any of the sequels because I've never been in a sequel.
Did you work on part 2?
I did not. No.
I like that, chasing him right out the other side.
Yeah, part 2.
How many did they make? Didn't they make like 6 of them?
They've made quite a few now. I think they're up to 5.
At least 5.
And who owns those?
Good question.
And are any of them any good?
What the hell's going on out here?
I haven't seen any. Have you guys?
2 has its moments. 3 is actually pretty good.
That's what I heard.
4 and 5 are terrible.
And filmed in Romania, I believe.
Yeah.
I should probably be quiet.
It's great, though.
It is. No cell phones.
Where the fuck is the phone?
In the future.
In your pocket. I'm through here.
John, you're so great in this.
So terrible. Oh! Shit. That looks like Leatherhead, kind of.
Yeah.
And Miguel does not look like he'd be hanging with punkers.
Yeah, I think it's one of those
Looks like he should be in
things.
Funkadelic
She
or something.
found you. Yeah, Funkadelic.
Yeah.
He's the first black guy I ever met.
Was that actually his? Was that actually his hair, or was that a wig?
That was his hair.
He had that Jerry curl
Didn't
back
he?
then?
I wouldn't know. I was scared of him.
He does have a prosthetic, though. It's underneath his pants, right about the
He
groin
always
area.
tried to get me to
No,
touch
he
that.
did. He had it.
Oh, he actually
had
wore it
it,
right.
yeah.
Oh, my God, that's right. He actually wore. But you never pointed out, Tom. I've never seen. He never looked like
I
that.
just remember him
Talking about it?
He'd take off his pants, and there it was. It was still in his pants.
Now, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah. That's creepy.
I met that guy.
How it afterwards or during?
Yeah.
Or? That was fucking cool. Is he in Venice, that guy?
Don't know.
Now, one thing about this, I mean, you might be able to comment on it, Tony, is there doesn't seem to be much consistency to the look of the zombies in this film. It's kind of all over the place.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, is that budgetary more than likely, or?
I don't know, but I mean, all the design artwork had a certain color palette in it.
Mm-hmm.
So I just went off the artwork I had. I think, like the acid in your face is totally like red and kabuki crazy, and I don't know if they were just going for different bright strokes through different scenes or what, but we were kind of all left to our own devices to do whatever we want, really. So it's really almost more just the individual artists in a way.
Mm-hmm.
Did you work with Bill Stout a lot?
We'd worked on a couple things that kind of didn't really go too far, and I did some stuff on Masters of the Universe for him, but just little stuff. This is really where I met him, though. But I'd known all his dinosaur books and
Yeah.
I
all
love
that.
this sequence
I mean,
too, right here.
I do too.
Conan and all that stuff. But
I
yeah, you
love
look
the
at this and
prints.
like all the background masks are all like gray and brown and
Yeah, different. Red.
Then
I
some
see-
of the people out playing the zombies outside in the rain almost look like their faces are just covered in mud.
yeah, or
Yeah.
like Rice Krispies and
Yeah.
gunk.
Rice Krispies?
Maybe cornflakes, sorry.
Was anybody hurt in the making of this film? I mean, not emotionally, physically.
Well, Beverly, when that
And
scene
the,
in
my
the stairs.
very last scene going through the attic, the 2x4 that was holding up the latch, the door that you push up, I pushed it through and it flew up and then came down, opened up the latch, and it came down and hit me on the head. I ended up going to the hospital just
Getting
to be
stitches?
safe. Yeah, I think I got a couple of stitches.
In the
Last
head.
scene.
Last scene.
Now that Send More Paramedic scene we saw, which is the classic line, was that something that was in the script or was it something added?
It was in the script.
You talked about setting up, like continuity-wise or whatever, setting up a shot and having to do specific action. This thing where Brian's bracing the window when the half corpse comes through, it's like so obvious. Just watch it.
Were you and Brian talking all the time up on the set, and was he telling you everything that was going on? And
He was.
were you
really,
guys living together at the time?
No, we had met at USC actually.
Yeah.
But I would hear things occasionally, not very often. So I'd kind of walk into it each time. So it was way more entertaining that way, I thought.
Because he was always on the set.
Yeah.
Into the soil of the graveyard and made the corpses come back to life.
Yeah, he seems to have become sort of the ambassador of Return of the Living Dead. He seems to know everything, and
He's like the historian. He
Yeah.
literally
Yeah.
knows all the minutia.
Right.
I tell you, I would have never known in a million years that was the same guy from Last American Virgin.
Yeah.
You know, he played such a nerd in that, and now he's playing a cool punker.
What did it do to you, Freddie?
Such a tender moment.
Was Miguel in
Stiffening
this?
up how, young man?
Stiffening up how? We missed a lot of sexual innuendos.
My stomach started cramping up. Now my arms and legs are cramping. Let's take a look.
Oh God.
Now, Brian still has that outfit, doesn't he?
Oh yeah. He's got that jacket, all those pins. He stole all kinds of props and set pieces.
I think all the pins were his to
Costumes.
start with too.
That's blood pooling up.
Tom, do you still own those? They sell these shirts all over the world. Do you still own them?
I have that one.
No, I mean
The ones that you marketed.
the ones that you marketed. The Return of the Living Dead.
Gosh,
Did
probably a
Did you
box
sell
somewhere.
that licensing thing?
Rigor mortis is setting in.
What do you mean?
Mortis.
Hey, God, you're dead.
You're dead, man, and you're gonna turn into one of those things out there.
That's a
He got that line from Rebel Without a Cause, the way he said that. I know he was imitating James Dean.
Did you hear that?
Was Miguel an actor or a musician? Or just a member of someone's entourage? Or did he have his own
I
entourage?
think this was his first film, and he wasn't really an actor.
Was he a music guy?
No, I don't believe he was a
Just
musician.
a personality?
He was the stories he's told about this, that he was just kind of faking his way through it, and that tackle is great.
On asphalt.
And he was homeless at the time.
That's what he says.
Yeah, he said he was living at the YMCA or something. Do you think that that's a true story? Or is he just making it sound more interesting?
He seems like he comes from money to me. Like it's... I mean, other than the obvious thing.
I mean, when I think of homeless, I think of guys on the street.
Here, let me put this board up.
He always,
that Brian? Yeah.
Yeah.
He had to do 3 jobs. Yeah. Are those real people out there?
Yeah.
And then he... Oh, wait. Which corpse is that?
That's
Yes.
his.
That's the
That's a
half.
half.
There's two versions
comes.
of her.
Here she
That's the
There's
becomes
first-
two,
half.
right?
Yeah.
There's your half right there.
There's the biting one, and then
You
the
see the
one
wires?
that goes
See the
to
wires?
There's like fishing wire to move her
Uh-huh.
head. Oh, and then
Is that strategic?
No, that was an accident.
Where are the wires? I don't see them.
Just straight out of the ear, straight up. Just bouncing the head on the floor.
You can let go of it.
So here's a true story. I went to New York the other day. I'm flying back, and I'm watching the movie just to kind of take notes and get ready for this. Girl sitting next to me on the plane, really hot, like older, but looked like she was a model. Looks over and sees it and goes, "I know that guy, Miguel." And she goes, "Yeah, I used to know Miguel." And I go, "How'd you used to know Miguel?" And she said, "Oh, I was a model in L.A. back in the day." I go, "You don't need to say anymore." I know. So that sounds like Miguel.
Tony, I got to tell you, this is one of my favorite scenes.
It
in the movie.
is.
And this
In
is
any
Tony's.
It was amazing.
In any movie, really.
So are
So
you in
where
there,
are you?
Tony?
Yeah,
Hiding under-
I'm under the table with my hand directly up through the back of her head. And there's a couple of scenes where you can actually see me on camera in the
show-
background.
Point them out.
And Brian did the voice when we were filming it because I was terrified to like match and just remember shit. So Brian did the voice and the jaw. I did the head and the eyes. Bill Stout did the spinal column and the goo.
Where was he?
All the tubes actually went out the whole below the head. So all the tubes, all the cables went out behind it.
The spinal fluid.
Where's the
coming out.
hole in
Isn't
the
that
thing
great?
where your
Just
hand
love
comes
it.
up? Spinal fluid. Wow.
The conversation with.
And it's the
Half
first time
corpse.
somebody
It's
says we
amazing.
go after the brains and
Yeah.
sort of really maps it all out.
Now, wasn't
It
there
set up a
also
whole
in-
pulp culture now. I mean,
Yeah.
every zombie I know goes after the brains because of this movie.
Now, wasn't there an issue with about the breast being exposed or the
Yeah,
nipples?
she originally was in that nightgown when she came through the window, and it got torn off. And then there was this whole dilemma: do we put it back on her because we don't want to show her nipples? And it was just like really bizarre because Linnea's all over the movie,
Mhm.
And here's a obvious prop, and you don't want to show the nipples on it.
Who brings that kind of issue to the set?
I don't know.
Probably the producers.
Brian would know.
Probably the producers.
Brian would know.
For the rating, they're trying to get the rating.
Graham
down.
and Tom.
Yeah.
Was Tom Fox and Graham Henderson, right?
Tom probably not so much, but more maybe Graham or even the John Daly and.
John Daly, yeah.
And here's the rebirth
Who's
of trash. I tell you, being a 14-year-old boy watching this movie.
Oh yeah,
I loved it. I was.
What did you like about it?
John, Jesus, right here.
Should I not be doing that?
And Bill Stout actually sculpted the face that she wears when she bites him. He'd gotten a life cast from Bill Munns and blocked it all out.
It's a great little strut she does up to him.
Yeah.
I think she's probably trying to keep that plug in.
Oh. So you were 21 years old.
There's
when you
Alan in
did
the
that.
background. Tarman.
Alan?
Oh,
Oh,
hey.
the cop?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, right. Oh, that's so good.
There you
to
go.
Let him do that. He just took his makeup off. We're both trying to cry so hard. Cry. I can't. Oh, this scene, well, Jewel and I talk a lot about it because she couldn't remember her lines. And
I'm
she's
just
crying.
a stripper.
And I was like, could you not? Don't do it like that, okay? Huh? Say it.
Did like you.
Oh. You know,
Oh my God, hold me tight.
Just hold me in your mouth, please.
I should have taken advantage of her when I had the chance.
Look at Jim Karen.
Well, what I mean is lock them in a room somewhere so if they started acting funny, they wouldn't hurt anybody. They don't want to hurt anybody.
It's like a Beetlejuice moment in the middle of the screen there.
Yeah.
Doing anything to them, for Christ's sake. We just want to lock them in another room so we can figure out.
If you're so cold, why'd they take your jacket off? Just put your jacket back on.
The chapel.
Look at Jimmy.
Oh, look at Jimmy. God. That's fantastic. Oh.
Rick and
There
Mortis
we go.
hurts.
Now they're
guys.
putting the jacket back on you.
I don't.
We Chapel
Chapel
of the
of
Dawn.
the
Now,
Dawn.
was that like a nod to Dawn of the Dead, maybe, or?
I don't know. That again, that's Bill Stout.
Yeah.
All the little
All
stuff.
of it. Wow.
The logos for companies, everything.
He's a goner.
Let's just leave him and get out. I'm not leaving Freddie.
We gotta lock the door.
That's love.
I'm staying.
Tina's such a trooper. Staying by her man.
Did Tina's husband have something to do with this movie, Tom?
Yeah. He was.
He worked with Bill Stout in the art department.
Yeah, he was Clay. He was in the art department.
Did
He was
they
where
meet
they
on
met.
this?
Is that
What's
where
that?
they met?
Yeah.
They
Yeah,
met
on
on
this
this
show.
movie, and they got married and have kids, and
Yep.
still live together.
Yep.
Shit,
Return
that
of the
doesn't
Living
happen.
Dead
That doesn't
has-
happen every day.
Created happy lives.
So there's a child of Return of the Living Dead.
Yeah, no, people meet on the sets and then they're not together for very long.
Right.
And they or get divorced or something.
But Tina's not that kind of a girl. She's a
That's
good
right.
girl. That guy scored Tina. He was in the art department.
This guy. Oh my God.
Clay Hartley.
Have you worked with him too?
Just recently, actually. Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he's
On what?
great, doing really well.
Didn't you guys just do some big, huge movie together?
Not with him, no.
Hold it right there! Razor, I'll blow your fucking brains out!
Whoa!
Well, that didn't work.
This place.
Do you remember how mad people were that the zombies ran
Yep.
and the zombies talked and it's so great though.
Love that guy.
Busting this damn place. Ain't no way to stop those things. We gotta get the fuck out.
We gotta get to the cars.
Yeah, people get very sort
Possessive of
of
the
possessive of the lore. It's like,
zombie lore.
yeah.
This is the first zombie.
fucking mind. I'm not barricading myself.
But you can't have zombies run. George Romero didn't make them run. So.
What is that?
Nitric acid, pretty much destroy anything.
Yeah, but there's not enough of it,
Oh.
If that was Tina, I would have checked out right about now.
Yeah. I think it would have checked out a long time ago.
If you're wondering, the foam was Alka-Seltzer.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
What's wrong?
Tina.
Oh.
Tina.
He left and now he's back.
I can finally see one thing.
Perfect.
One thing only that can leave this world suffering.
What?
Here it comes.
Here we go.
I don't know. Now you're fucking running.
Well, now you're really
That's
foaming.
Alka-Seltzer, huh? You're... How's that, Tom?
Is
How'd
that
that
you
feel?
or is that a stunt guy?
I'll never tell.
Oh!
That's me. That's not me. That's me.
No.
That's not me. That's me. Oh, yeah. Come to daddy.
Oh! Who's that? That was a shot to the head for sure.
It's a rubber pipe.
Fuck you. Oh.
Uh-oh.
Just pick her up and go.
So was wearing that eye prosthetic.
Couldn't see much.
Kind
Could
of
see a
pain in the
little
ass?
bit. That's why going down the hallway, I was like, I could just see a little bit.
Oh, there's the famous slap scene.
Oh, the double slap, too.
There's my head and my shoulders behind the...
Oh!
Oh, I missed it.
We're distracted by the slap.
Is everybody under there right now?
No, I'm the only one under there. The cables were long enough that they could be, close to camera or wherever.
Those slaps weren't movie slaps either. He connected.
That
it.
was real.
Yeah, Miguel said that after that he wanted to beat his ass. Because he was only supposed to hit him once.
Right.
Light. And the second one, he really hit him.
Right. That's an old New York actor trick. I'm going to hit him again, but I'm not going to tell him.
Can't stay here no more, man. He's gonna come busting through that door, man. We gotta run for the cars. There's zombies all over the cars outside.
Gotta find a way through them. There's no other way.
What's wrong with Tina?
She's distraught.
It's a big fucking if, man.
Brokenhearted.
Much less room.
How bad is your foot, honey?
Broke.
Uh-oh.
That's all me.
Really? Pain? Wow.
I was such a sweet, innocent punk rocker in the beginning.
The motor's still running. I'll drive.
Hey, fuck you.
Look, we drive up.
What?
Young lady, you stand right here. Put one hand here.
Oh, it's a broken foot.
That thing swelled up quick.
Yeah, it's broken.
It's a hematobin.
Get your ass over here.
Are you under the table there pumping the foot, Tony? Inflating it.
That's over here.
Bert. That favor that you owe me. Watch your ass out there.
What are they talking about?
Well, he owes him a favor for burning
The rabid weasels.
the rabid weasels in the crematorium.
Whoa.
Here's your Fear the Walking Dead.
Yeah.
Now they're honking the horn because they didn't want to run over any extras.
Wow.
Oh, man.
They had to. Burton's in hell.
They'll go get help.
What are you doing? You can't just leave them.
Turn the goddamn car over and we'll send help.
Oh, shit, go to my fucking friend back there.
There's a giant mob scene behind him. It's like a video game.
Now, there's really some really nice camera work in this movie. For such a low-budget film with such a tight schedule.
Did they ever say what the budget actually really was?
Does anyone know what the budget was? Do you know? Brian knows.
Brian. Let's call Brian.
Police.
Stupid honky.
That's the first black guy I ever hugged.
He owns this place. That fucking car is total, man.
It's all right. My car's still out there, and so's Frank's.
Not anymore.
Your jacket's fucked up now.
Are you? So you're blind as a bat right now,
Pretty
right?
much.
This thing is. Don't grab her butt. Who did the music soundtrack? Up.
That was Matt Clifford.
Good job.
And wasn't this scene Jimmy's idea?
It was to cook himself. Take the ring off.
He loves his wife.
Love the hands. Watch. Yeah.
Oh.
Now, what a terrible
God,
way to go.
That's awful. Doing it to yourself? Oh. Oh my
I love
God. This is so...
It's really
And the
great.
smoke coming out.
I can't.
Great.
Love that oven.
Yeah.
It's yellow. Oh, we got a helicopter? Production value. I want to know how much this movie costs now. Well, back then, too, you'd have to transpose
Yeah.
it. Oh.
Some real smart zombies.
Really smart.
We've got a bad situation here. We've got officers down. We have just witnessed ground units attack. Repeat attack.
Helicopter.
This is the police. This area is under police blockade. All persons within this area wishing to surrender.
It looks like it was just some footage they stole.
Yeah.
Oh, we didn't
Helicopter
have a
against black. That'll be $10.
Man, we gotta let him know we're in here.
Better believe it.
Hey, mister, don't go in.
There's a thing in there and it ripped out the phone.
Another phone in the basement.
The basement. Fuck. You know what's in the basement?
What do you mean?
One of those fucking corpses, man. A real ugly one, all black and slimy.
Well, I don't give a shit what's in the basement. We gotta get to that phone, man. Blinding us seems to work okay, doesn't it? Wait a minute.
They've got to figure this out.
Fighter, open the door. You'll knock his goddamn block off.
This is so great.
So is that the board? That
There's
hit you?
the board.
The infamous board.
That's a pretty
2x8,
big 2x.
man.
It's not a
Jesus.
2x4.
No way. It's got some meat on that
Some
bone.
weight. There it is.
It's a 2x8.
Is it on camera? Does it show you? Does it hit you on
I
camera?
don't remember.
I think it freezes, like when you come up, like the freeze frame.
Right. The very.
I like the way you're guilting her out. Like, it's so great. Like, she's a codependent. You've got her number.
Like how he's considering
How did he do
sacrificing her.
that? with his face. Super Mario.
This worked so great last time.
Whoa! That was pretty cool.
I wonder who kept the Tar Man head.
Good question. I bet Brian knows. It's under Brian's bed.
Oh.
Poor Suicide.
I just remember Alan had to sit around in that thing.
Oh yeah, in the suit.
In
I
a
know.
bucket of sweat in that suit on the set, between takes, and it was brutal.
How come Suicide never came back as a zombie?
I know. How come? He should be back by now, right?
They're saying because it bit into his brain. Bitten. He was bit into the brain, so that would stop it.
You have an answer for that? Wasn't Brian bitten into the brain too, Brian Peck?
Well,
by the half corpse?
That's the one that probably could have come back because it didn't. He got more in the forehead, really.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
I remember when he was reading his lines. He definitely had to have these all written up on a board, and he's the first to admit it. He couldn't remember lines. And
this is that alleyway at the brewery.
Oh, where are they coming from? How many extra zombies were there? Whoa. Oh. Was that actually Linnea? Look, no, that's the mask, right?
That's a prosthetic on her.
What is it? Cops have got the cops. That means they're breaking out of the barricade. Jesus Christ.
I think this is just before Clue did Nightmare on Elm Street Part 2, I believe.
What are you doing?
Now, was this before or after North Shore for you? Was North Shore before this or after?
After this.
After?
I think. I don't know. Right around the same time. Oh, there's
not San Diego, Palos Verdes.
There's a thing where one of the things on this computer thing, you can see the glue come up and it starts to move. On a big screen, you can see this thing this glue. I love stuff like that in movies.
Point it out.
I'll point it out.
Yeah, I think this movie works so great. That last shot, that the city, that it's so bad. It's like,
yeah, that's where it goes south.
Yeah,
jumps the shark.
It's such a shame,
there.
like right at the end.
And what effect did that have?
I like how he's got the little
monogram.
Monogram on the.
I like how he's sleeping with Mrs. Howell.
Totally.
Really? How many did you say? And how many acres does this?
And she's great. Look at her. She's just killing it back there.
She is.
What's behind the bed?
One shot.
Yes, I see.
Should have cast her as a zombie.
Oh, she'd be a good zombie. How does she even know what he's talking
Yeah,
about?
I know. That's classified. Okay, he's going to have a computer under here that's got a loose piece in it.
Which piece?
Oh, God. I think it's to our left, screen right, and it's got to get pretty close to it. It's going to start coming up. It's glued on, but it might be what his phone is sticking into.
Sir, this is Colonel Glover. I'm sorry to disturb you at this hour.
HG.
Sir, but for Q2 status. It looks like we've found that lost consignment of Easter eggs.
What Colonel Glover's first name was.
Yes, sir. For sure.
Herbert.
Up in Louisville. I'm getting confirmation.
That works for me. I'm sorry, there wasn't nobody that cool in Louisville, punker-wise.
I know. Why'd they
Right,
choose Louisville?
right.
Plus, nobody has a Southern accent. It's supposed to be Louisville. Not one person.
Not one person tries.
I've been waiting for this to happen. Apparently, they got some sort of contingency plan to deal with it.
Well, that's great.
What is this plan?
Yeah, one person, little Southern drawl.
Yes, sir. Good morning to you too, sir.
That guy's great.
Yes, sir. All right, sir. Whatever you say, sir. The code numbers, please, sir. Archimedes, hot dog, rhubarb, niner, 0, niner. Gotcha, sir.
Now that bothered me when I saw it.
The
that
miniature?
little-
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why.
Because it looks
I
like
don't
a
know what I
miniature.
expected. It's like, wait.
But that looks phenomenal compared to this last scene.
So is it a nuclear? Now how'd they get that though?
That's
Is that
animation or stop? Is that stop motion?
How'd they
or?
do that?
Oh,
Whoa.
no.
Tina.
You hear anything?
With that, it's just, yeah. Those buildings could have been done better.
In the background, yeah. The foreground's pretty good.
Yeah,
Love that.
yeah, that's cool.
Daylight time.
Results, sir. Very close to optimal placement.
Okay, see that thing his phone's hooking onto?
Well, sir, only
Watch.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
There it goes.
That's great.
It melted from the
Melted from the
nuclear
thought
blast.
of the blast.
General. The rain will wash everything away. That's correct, sir.
So this is the sequel setup.
By morning. Yes, sir. I understand the president will visit Louisville tomorrow. No, we wouldn't want that to happen.
And that's Brian's cameo
No, sir. This is
after he's dead.
for anyone.
What do you mean?
He was the one in the box in the beginning that climbs up through the dirt.
Oh yeah.
Oh, he was?
Yeah.
How many?
There it is again.
There it is again. God, that's good music.
That's great. I love how you get a little bit of recap of the film here at the end,
Yeah.
in case you missed something.
Oh. I love that line.
We have a little problem.
I don't.
So, any parting thoughts here? Like I was talking a little bit earlier. I think we got sidetracked about the longevity of this film and like meeting fans today and going to the conventions and everything. Are you guys surprised at how beloved this movie is still?
I resisted going to conventions in the beginning, but I got into it, and it just so much fun to meet everybody and hear their story and to see how old they were when they saw the movie. Some of them were way too young, which is bad parenting. I didn't let my children see them until they were at least 12 or 13. Some of the fans saw it when they were 6. All the tattoos too that the people have of them because of the movie. My death scene. A lot of people have the death scene poster art on their back. It's just amazing, and just the life, and it just seems to catch momentum.
And then
It's
you have the
amazing to
fans
me.
bringing their kids.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And then you get a lot of like, for you, Tony, like up and coming effects artists that look back at this and say, "Oh man, the half corpse,"
I can't tell you how many people have come up to me and said, "I got into special effects because of what
Really?
you did." Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Yeah, we hear that all the time at conventions.
All the time.
Wow.
All the time. You should come out with us sometime.
You should.
I need to get out more. I think I will.
It's a lot of fun.
It's really fun.
Yeah.
I'm with Tom. I didn't know what was going on at first. It's an acquired taste. I was like, what the hell? And now I'm like, I want to go to. I wasn't invited to Texas. I want to go to Texas. I'm like, it is so much fun, and the people. I mean, this movie. I had to stop talking because I was watching the movie. You said not to do that, but it's just gotten better and better. It's better every time I watch it. It's really cool to watch it with you, especially Tony.
It's cool to see people talk to you and actually genuinely love it.
Yeah, genuinely
like
love
have
it.
passion for
Not only
it.
genuinely, it affected
It's
their lives.
Yeah, it took. It was a
I mean, it
turning-
affected their lives. A lot of these. I had
It's
one
fun.
guy. I had
And-
one guy had a lot of tattoos, and he goes, "Can you sign my arm?" I said, "Sure." Signed his arm, and it got slow at my table, so I went walking around, and there he was getting my name tattooed on his arm over my signature. It was above Gene Simmons. And my brother tours with Kiss, and I called my brother and I said, "I've made it. I'm tattooed above Gene Simmons." But it's amazing. The fans, how devoted they are to the movie.
Well, how many conventions do you guys do? Like a year?
Tom does
I think three or four,
Yeah?
maybe five.
I do one.
I did one in Germany, which was a lot of fun.
That was
Made
my
it-
next question. I mean, do you
made
guys
a
do
trip out of it.
international stuff? Is the response the same?
Pretty much, yeah.
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 Well, we've come to the end, guys.
Oh,
Very
Ah.
nice.
Thank
thanks,
you.
Thanks for joining us.
Thanks,
and
Sean.
Thanks for having us.